Hello, world, and it's your boy right here, and we're gonna do without the tears, okay? Without the crying. We have a tiered video. We're gonna do the way too early NBA award winners, okay? And the way we're gonna do this is in tiers of one, two, three. One being most probable, two being kinda on the edge, and then three is our wild card, least likely. Okay, so we're gonna work with awards I think are less important first. So let's go six man of the year. I European people that I've discussed this with, and any people I guess that are outside of American don't understand it because it's somebody coming off the bench that's getting an award. I understand. It doesn't make sense to me either, but it's fun, and we're gonna do it. So six man of the year, my pick is Zach Randolph. Um, the guy can score. He doesn't jump ever, but he can score. And he can hit a three. It's surprising, but I think when you put him in the second unit, he really will thrive. Um, and uh, maybe that's where he's more comfortable now, but um, given his style of play, he really should score a lot of points coming off the bench. Number two, we're going to give it to the old veteran, okay? The guy who could win every year, Jamal Crawford, just because he can and he might. So, and with six man of the year, it's usually points. So for my wild card pick, I'm going to go Jordan Clarkson because right now he's coming off the bench, and if that's the continued trend, then you can guarantee that he is going to be in the running because he scores a lot of points and he produces good numbers. I mean, he's a good second unit player. It could be on the first unit, but he's not. So seems like a viable option to me. Rookie of the year. Um, my pick's Joel Embiid. That might be a little reactionary, but the guy really seems like he knows what he's doing out there, and it seems like a rational pick at this point. My number two pick would be Jamal Murray because there's nobody in the draft that came out and impressed me like he did. He really looks like a pro. He looks like a seasoned veteran, and I can't honestly say that anybody in this draft class looks to make a huge impact right now. I mean, except for Joel Embiid. So Jamal Murray, who could earn the starting two guard spot, um, has a really good potential to do so, and he'll get his fair looks in Denver. So he seems like a good pick. And my wild card pick, which isn't that much of a wild card pick because some people pick him, my pick is Buddy Hield. I just don't see uh, the production or efficiency. But if he scores a lot of points and can get some solid other numbers like rebounds and assists, which I don't see either because he's primarily a scorer. But um, if he can do that, the lineup's a little thin in New Orleans, and Anthony Davis could use some running mates that can score as well. So he's going to get his opportunities, and just by sheer volume, he might score in heavy abundance, and that could boost him up into Rookie of the Year contention. So next, we're going to go most improved players, and I think the best candidate is from Indiana, and I thought this guy had a solid Rookie of the Year contention last year, but nobody cares what I say. Miles Turner. Miles Turner, I think, is going to win. Um, wow, he can stretch the floor. He is a solid center. He's tall. He's lengthy. Um, plays good defense. Can shoot. I mean, what else do you want? And he's only going to get better. He just it just seems like he's got a ton of potential, and I think he's going to have a really good year. Number two is D'Angelo Russell, and he's right up there. I mean, the ball's in his hands. The guy can shoot. The guy can make plays. So Yeah, between those two, it's tough. And my wild card pick is Aaron Gordon. Um, in my clips earlier, I said that Jeff Green was a silly pickup, but he could cloud some of Aaron Gordon's minutes. But if Aaron Gordon plays well, I mean, which he has, he looks like he's got solid potential. He's still young. Um, I would say that he could be in contention for this because he's playing for the Magic. Okay, so he's going to get a lot of usage. Um, and, it just makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that he could have a really good year because last year he has a pretty solid year and he's got a lot of potential. He knocks down some shots and he's we know he's athletically gifted, so watch out. Um, let's go Coach of the Year. My pick is Quinn Snyder. I'm sorry if that sounded stupid. I'm going to speak again and try to get it right. Quinn Snyder. Okay. Uh, why I picked that? Because I think the Jazz can make the playoffs. I think they will. I really think they will. Um, they're deep, which is something you don't think about when you think about the Jazz, but they're deep and they have, you know, at every position they have one or two solid players and really solid. Um, so it's hard not to go with Quinn Snyder because I think they're gonna, they might be a 4 or 5 seed in the West. So watch out for the Jazz, which is something you don't say very often. Oh, by the way, NBA, there's no Jazz in Utah. Okay, I never got that one. Brad Stevens is my number 2 pick because he always deserves it. He's a great coach, and the Celtics could be a 3 seed. I don't know what's going to happen. The East is kind of unpredictable, except for Cleveland's going to be a number 1 seed, but uh, it's fairly easy to pick. Uh, Brad Stevens is going to be in the runnings. My number 3, the wild cards here, is Thibodeau, Donovan, and D'Antoni, and you know the Wolves, the Thunder, or the Rockets. Whoever gets that 8 seed, um, you can just put them in contention because I think all those teams have potential to make the playoffs. The one that does could make a run, and if they make a run, then you're looking at a guy who could win Coach of the Year. So now, what do I have left? Defensive Player of the Year. My solid answer is sticking with my Jazz. Rudy Gobert, or Gobert if you're uneducated. Anyway, Rudy Gobert is a great defensive player. Best rim protector in the league. Long. The Stifle Tower is a great nickname. Just off of that, he could win. So there you go. Draymond Green, I just think he plays defense as much as some people don't like him, and there's reasonable. There's a solid reason for that. If you go around kicking people in the groin, you're not going to be a very liked person. But yeah, I guess he could earn it. He's a scrappy player. Hassan Whiteside's my wild card pick. I don't think he's going to get it, but if he puts up insane block numbers, yeah, he's got a chance. MVP. Okay, this is the last one. Some of you are like, thank you. But anyway, MVP. My pick is LeBron James. That's going to be a homer pick. A lot of you are going to assume that's a homer pick. I don't think so. I don't think there's very much pressure on him uh, to do things, and that could lead in one of two things: insane numbers, or it could be lax numbers. I think LeBron's at a point where he's like, I don't care about the regular season as long as we win, but when it comes to playoff times, I'll do what I need to do, and that's a good way to play. So with LeBron, it could be one of two ways, but you got to kind of go with the guy's got a really good shot at being MVP, and plus you can't go with voter fatigue anymore. If anything, there'd be voter sympathy because he hasn't won MVP and he should have. So my number 2 pick is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard he could be MVP as well. He deserves it. See, again, I'm going to go with LeBron as the best player overall, and I think Kawhi is probably number 2 in terms of defense and offense and just efficiency. I know you guys can make the case that he sunk a little bit in the playoffs, but whatever. I mean, everybody goes through their stretches, and the Spurs team is not all that deep. So if they get super far in the playoffs, uh, it'd be surprising to me personally. But he's the leader on that team. He's the guy, and he's going to get the ball the most. And you know, we'll see what happens. But I think he's a solid MVP candidate. He could be Defensive Player of the Year, but I just don't see him getting it 3 times. So, and for my surprise picks, they're not really surprise picks. I just don't think it's going to happen. I have Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, and I suppose you could throw in James Harden, but all for the same reason. These guys aren't going to make the playoffs, I don't think. The Thunder might, but nobody's winning 50 games on these teams. So, just according to history, I don't think it's going to happen because you got to win games. Now, if Anthony Davis posts insane numbers, like he's averaging 40 points a game, you might have to think about it. And Russell Westbrook might post some pretty crazy numbers. So, if he averages a triple double and that team makes the playoffs, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Uh, but I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. And yeah, so there's my awards. I know that it doesn't mean anything. We're like 2 games in or 2 days into the NBA season, but those are like my before things get. It's a way too early review, and that's what I'm going with. But the NBA is fun, right? You don't have to be so uptight about sports. It should be fun. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Wolf's Den. Uh, Peace.